Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 125,000 bonus miles for a limited time through October 29th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends October 29th, 2025.
Welcome back, folks. This is episode 166. We have, he's got to be the most exciting person in payroll out there.
Yeah.
Max Vander Klis-Busink today coming on the show. But before that, you know what it is. What's going on, Walt?
Nothing much, man. It feels like it was just January. It's already July. And
Dude.
2026 is almost here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just time is flying. I'm just grateful to be here. Grateful to be
No doubt.
connecting with Max again. Just
Yeah.
excited about today, man. So how about you? How are you doing?
Man, same, bro. It's time. Look, for payroll folk, we need to start planning year end already.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you know, we should be always thinking kind of a quarter in ahead.
Yep.
When you can, you know. Yeah. But look, before Max jumps on, let's get around the horn, around the pay horn. What you got for us today, sir?
Just a couple of quick updates. PayOrg is encouraging payroll professionals to get involved with their local chapters to stay
No doubt.
updated on trends and best practices. So that's an article that's out there. A Florida businessman and 10 companies he controls.
Why you gotta be Florida businessman for?
A Florida man.
Florida man.
10 businesses that he controls will pay $20 million for a fraudulent loan activity, according to the U.S. Department of the DOJ. Deloitte India and Ramco Systems partner for payroll transformation. This partnership will combine Ramco's payroll platform with Deloitte's advisory and managed services to offer a payroll solution spanning more than 150 companies. Lastly, Indiana and Maryland passed legislation regulating EWA, Earned Wage Access.
You making up new words? It's EWA, Earned Wage Access.
EWA.
EWA.
And these states joined a growing list of jurisdictions with regulations around earned wage access.
So we're going to have on, not that he's allowed to talk about it, but we're going to have a friend of the show, Aaron Martin, on again soon, which reminds me I need to circle back to him to see what day we pick or when we pick. Hopefully, you know, that day we're going to talk a lot about earned wage access because I so disagree with some of the regulations. If I'm, you know, did they talk? Are they making it a loan? Are they saying that it's a loan, or they're just putting some regulations around it?
I didn't get into the nitty gritty of it. The link will be there.
Yeah, that's why I said we got to get into that show. We'll dig in a bit more. But all right, thank you, sir. I got two for us today. Small, well, I don't know about small, but company named Clover, which is owned by Fiserv. I don't know if you heard of Fiserv, but Fiserv is a big fintech company. One of my neighbors actually works for them. I was just talking to him. But anyway, Clover integrates Homebase into its POS platform to elevate workforce management for small businesses.
Nice.
And this, what they're going to do, a couple of things is they're going to automate timesheet generation, time clock controls, payroll accuracy, streamline the payroll integration, labor cost optimization tools, which is a trend right now. Employee self-service reduces admin load. Heck yeah, I love employee self-service. Phased rollout timeline. So it'll kind of start in August and kind of keep going from there. And then why this matters to payroll teams is accuracy and compliance, efficiency and cost controls, right?
Yep.
So we like all those things. And then there's another one. Bedford County, Virginia implements UKG Ready, triggering a systemic shift in workforce and payroll operations. So always when you get a reliable system, you get these, upgrades and things. And again, multiple payroll management simplified.
Yep.
Some of the key takeaways: paperless time tracking for payroll processing. Love that. Enhanced compliance reporting, scalable workforce during peak periods, boost engagement and equity in pay, more strategic HR and payroll focus. So they probably kind of had an outdated system. UKG and all the new things have a lot of bells and whistles, learning management, communication tools, and all this. But Why this matters for payroll is efficiency gains,
Mm-hmm.
scalability, employee empowerment, and regulatory agility. So shout out to Virginia for making those moves, being a little progressive there, or rather, Bedford County, Virginia, to be specific, for being progressive and looking forward, improving things for payroll folks. And that is all I have. We got some winners to announce for the book, but I'll wait for Max to come on.
Okay.
Today, we are thrilled to welcome a true payroll visionary, Max Vander Klis-Busink. Max is an award-winning global payroll expert, author of the best-selling Global Payroll Manager's Playbook, and a passionate advocate for strategic power of payroll in global business. With over a decade of experience managing, I think it's more than that, but I'm going to leave it at that, managing payroll across multiple continents and industries, Max has not only navigated the technical complexities of international compliance, systems, service, and delivery, he's also helped redefine what it means to be a payroll leader in today's interconnected world. Whether you're a payroll pro, an HR leader, a finance exec, you do not want to miss this conversation. Max brings clarity, courage, and a whole lot of passion for payroll. Let's get to it. Yes, sir.
Well, I'd love to meet that version of Max,
There
Brian.
you go. That's right. That's right. Yo, man, you look, I mean, when we talk to other folks global wise, and your name comes up in every single conversation
Yes.
we have with global payroll professionals, and man, I get excited every time because the energy that you bring is
Yeah.
amazing, man. I'm so proud to know you. So you should be proud of yourself. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
you.
man, congratulations on everything, man. So tell us, let's get right in, man. You wrote this book. What sparked the passion for payroll? How did that lead to writing this playbook?
It's an excellent question. First of all, thanks for having this crazy Dutchman again on your show.
Yes.
I really appreciate that. So I think we all share the passion for payroll. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this profession, let alone stay in the profession. So I might carry it in a company name or hashtag, but it's really everyone's hashtag,
Yeah,
right? We need passion.
no doubt.
And I'm turning 40 this year.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're young.
You already
And I
turned
thought,
40, or you're gonna turn 40?
I'm gonna turn 40. And my birthday is actually on Halloween.
Ooh.
I know. I have a face for the radio. I know. and I thought to myself, what's on my real payroll bucket list? People have bucket lists, but I have a payroll bucket list. I do podcasts, webinars, articles, all of that. But I haven't written a book yet. And I thought back of a moment, I think it was maybe in 2010 or so, where I was in Amsterdam. I was looking, I really want to do global payroll more than I do so today. There wasn't really anything there.
That's right.
Mhm.
Of course, there's courses, right?
No,
More
it's all
expensive
textbooks.
courses, which
Max,
I
that's how it
textbooks.
was 3 years ago when we started this show. It
Yeah.
was only textbooks.
It
Yeah.
was. And I've always developed this framework that I call the Global Payroll Management Framework that has had multiple iterations. I thought, geez, this even younger version of myself would have loved to have a book in his hands from someone who has done it,
Yes.
who could share his views, that's accessible to
Yeah.
everyone, and just sit on someone's desk, and then people could read it, be inspired, agree or disagree, but form their own opinions. And that motivated me to write this book. And I started actually at the same time as Bart van der Storm,
Oh, really?
who you also had
Of
on the
course we
podcast,
did,
I think,
yeah.
who also wrote the book, The Payroll Mind. And then I was a bit disheartened. I'm like, no, we can't have two of the same books going out. So then I paused for a little bit, but I restarted writing in November last year, and I knocked it out for April this year. So it was about 4 months start to finish. The question everybody asks me, did you write it? Or did ChatGPT write it?
Okay.
Which is a question you would not have gotten 3
No,
or 4
not
years
at
ago.
all.
But I get that question very regularly. And I always say, well, every word is mine. Sometimes I did prompt to get inspired,
Yes.
just like I do with speaking to actual
Absolutely.
people like you.
Yeah.
So yes, of course, but the rest is all my work. So I'm really proud that book aired on the 8th of April. And I'm very fortunate to receive a lot of good reviews, because your worst nightmare is you write a book, your wife reads it, your mother reads it out of courtesy, but no one else reads it.
Yeah. It's just
right?
Yes.
And now I can track the sales. It's in over 35 countries. People have bought it
Great.
and read it, different
Congratulations.
cases. And before maybe dive into the book, something I haven't really shared with a lot of people, all the profits of the book go to charity.
Wow.
It's not for me. So, by the way, if you ever want to become a millionaire, don't write a book. Okay? Unless you're like Carrie Slayer or someone else, right? Or
you
Stephen
gotta
King.
be already
Then
a
yes.
millionaire.
So what I see, we all have kids, right? Too much screen time,
That's
less playing
Yeah.
time. But there's also people who are maybe less fortunate. And I was also sparked by your financial fitness challenges.
Ooh.
wow.
Yeah. And there's a lot of families out there whose kids want to play with other kids at sports games.
Yes.
But just like groceries and everything else, everything got really
Yes,
expensive.
sir.
Right? Get a membership for a sports club. Get them good shoes. Get them an outfit. It's super expensive. So this Wednesday, I had my final conversation with a local sports club who does a lot of these initiatives. And I'm going to sign a sponsor deal where anonymously, because you don't want to be on the list of people who need that support, right? You're not going to say, oh, can someone fund
Right.
me? All the book sales are going to go to that charity where people could actually play along with other kids.
Wow.
We can sponsor
Wow.
volunteers to also support those people.
I
So
love it.
if anything, buy the book for those kids in need, those families in need who need the support to be able to get away from a screen, get on a sports field, because that's also where you make human connections and
Yes,
friendships.
sir. Yes. Wow, that's great. Thank you
love
for
it.
sharing that, Max. I appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Of course. So, yeah. Then the book, right? The book. Well, you guys get your versions. It's really written for payroll managers. I've titled it as the Global Payroll Managers Playbook, but I had a lot of feedback from people who are single country payroll managers. And they said, well, actually, the concepts are universally
Yes.
applicable. Any payroll needs a control.
That's right.
Any payroll needs to identify
Yes, sir.
risks. You need to develop a strategy. You need to have continuous improvement, right? And I share my stories in my unique style. I try to make it a bit funny as well and light to read. And you can start and finish wherever you like. But basically, it's for anyone who either wants to start working in payroll, who has worked for 35 plus years in payroll.
I
Yeah.
saw that, like, it's almost like a reference. You can kind of come in back and forth and look up what you're going through and find what you need to, guide and whatnot. So I love it. Go ahead,
Well,
Walt, take
so
us to the
Matt-
next one.
Let me ask you, when you wrote this book, was there a gap in the payroll world that you were aiming to fill?
Hey, it's Libby DeLucian. If you're sick of business advice that sounds cute but doesn't actually move the needle forward, this one's for you. The Libby DeLucian podcast is where we go one layer deep. No gurus, no glitter, just straight up unfiltered talk about scaling a business, running a household, and holding on to your sanity in the middle of the chaos. If you're the bottleneck in your business or in your own life, I'll show you how to fix it. Simple, tactical, and one layer deep every time. Let's go. Visit libbyd.com and check out our podcast today.
I think so, yes. There are theories out there, but there's not a lot of people who share the actual stories and the scars of managing a payroll team or managing global payroll and make it very practically applicable. Right? That's what you're doing with the podcast. You're bringing the world of payroll together and unlocking experiences and sharing. And for me, it was for people, for making it accessible. For instance, there's a lot of courses out there, but it's not being taught around the world, right? It's not easy for anyone to go, oh, let's just go to a course in Orlando
Yes.
or in London,
Yes.
right? So, and I wanted this, just like everything else, to be very accessible. And I've always been an advocate of not possessing knowledge, not owning knowledge,
right.
but sharing it. Because everything that I've written in the book is not just Max, his brilliance. I have also had leaders, I still have leaders or peers who I learned from. And I've just tried to capture that in a book. And as you know, payroll people love structure.
Mhm.
Well, we love
Gotta have it.
structure. We work in chaos, but we love some structure. That's why I said, well, the governance is super important. Let me tell you a story. 2 years ago, I visited Dublin and I met Miranda Humphreys. She's the senior director of EMEA payroll for Salesforce.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I come there. She pulls up my article from Payroll.org with my global management framework. And she said, well, this has actually guided me to rebuild and rethink what I'm doing here at Salesforce.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I first really realized, oh man, I think I can make a positive impact to the industry and its professions here. Right? I need to kind of contain it into a book that's that accessible for everyone. So that was kind of my main driver. And also for those people who maybe want to go into global, but just have no idea where to start.
Yeah.
But it can be very overwhelming. So, well, just start with the book. I also list other resources there,
I
like
noticed.
Payroll
Yeah.
or the CIPP in the UK, other consultants. It's not just the Max show.
That's right.
It's, profession giving back to the profession.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
Yep. So you mentioned in the book that payroll is both complex and beautiful. Can you expand on that philosophy a little bit?
Yeah, I always say it's wonderfully complex. It's you guys in the US have a very complex payroll. France is a complex payroll. So it's super challenging, but it's also very rewarding at the same time because you really touch on everyone's lives. You touch, as I always tell my neighbors, what do you do? I said, well, I said, let's not talk about what I do, but my profession keeps the economy spinning.
That's right.
Right? It is very rewarding with all the concepts to get that perfect paycheck out, represent 60% of the P&L of any organization, get it flawlessly in, fund the tax authorities all over the world. Right? Revenues, what is it in the US? Maybe 3.1 trillion that's collected through payroll. 3.1 trillion US dollars. That's a lot of money. And it's all from this wonderful profession that might be hidden in an organization. But for me, the complexity is wonderful because we can overcome the complexity and you can almost get instant gratification more than a TikTok scroll or LinkedIn scroll, right? It's that combination. I've mentioned it many times on the Payroll podcast by Nick Day, but for me with payroll, you don't have to choose. You want to do HR, you want to do finance, you want to do tax, you want to do technology, you want to travel, account,
all in one.
you want to do benefits, all in one. This is the all-in-one profession.
You literally can touch every piece of the profession, can learn and it would only make you better. I tell folks, me and Walt teach payroll here as well. And I tell folks, be open to stretching into new things because that's how you learn more. It not only makes you a better payroll pro, but it gives you avenues that you can take and go down. You can be an accounting pro, you can be an HR pro if you want to go out of payroll, or if you just want to keep growing your payroll knowledge.
And another part of that, even on a different level, is you can go into different industries in payroll. If you want to be in the horse industry, construction, trucking, whatever it may be, there's so many different avenues of payroll.
Yep.
And I listened just to your most recent podcast this morning on the trucking. I'm like, wow, this is a side of payroll I've never seen before.
You see what I'm saying, Max? I've been so excited to talk about the specific industries since we started the show. I was like, oh my God, there's trucking payroll, there's nursing payroll, there's so niche payroll things that are so unique, right? And it's exciting. I knew you would love it.
Of course. It actually reminded me, I was 24. I was 4 years into payroll and I worked at a secondment agency in the oil and gas industry. And I find myself at the age of 24 explaining a payslip in Dubai to a captain of a dredging ship.
Wow.
That's payroll. Let's go to Dubai. Let's explain to the whole crew how the payslip works. So everyone gathered in the mess hall and said, okay, this is my payslip. How does it work? Well, I'm from Denmark and I now work in Dubai. How does this work? All related to payroll.
Wow, that's amazing.
You bring up payslip. Have you read Anita Latink's new book?
Not yet.
Me neither.
I've ordered it here. Anita, of course, I don't know what happens in the Dutch. Maybe it's a water, but we like payroll and writing.
Well, I have some American partners in the book world soon. Me and Walt are coming out.
Really? Amazing. Can you share with the listeners a little snippet of what's it about?
Yeah, for sure. We want to get folks excited about payroll, feeling that. Remember the first time you came on, oh, how beautiful. This is full circle. The first time you came on, we were in a season of getting folks aware, trying to get young people excited about payroll. So we've been working on this and it's driven from our transcripts of the show. And we are framing it toward young folks looking for a career and anyone who might be looking to change careers to get excited about payroll. What is payroll, right? The different things, and it's very conversation. It's not a textbook, right? It's not a playbook for a manager. It's just very, you know what inspired us too is folks kept telling us, you guys make complex topics easy to listen to and easy to digest and things like that, and conversational. So we just kind of kept that, and it's taken us like about a year now to figure out
Yeah.
where, like, who do we want to, who is our target, right? Who is our audience? And as folks are aging out of payroll, because in the US, 80% of payroll pros are over 40. So
it's a global issue, Brian. I remember when I joined Shell, I joined as a manager. I was 30, and people were working longer for Shell than I was alive.
Wow. Absolutely. I believe it. Yep. I believe it. Yeah. And that's from when we first started that was the norm. People staying at companies for 37, 40 years. And you're like, what in the world? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And that's unheard of these days, but very normal before. Yeah.
But that's great because we need to get these people into our profession. But it starts at my theme of the year is visibility. There was another reason why to write a book is about visibility.
Yes.
People don't even know.
Yes. And Max, that's exactly. And remember, that's what you said on the first show. You said, Brian, I'm getting people excited. How about let's just make them aware?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So that was one of the motivations for the book is like, well, what if, because we thought about the same thing. Like, we want to start an initiative where people all over the world are going to colleges, going to job fairs, and just saying, not so much, oh, come work for my company. Think about payroll.
Yes.
Right? We young, smart people in payroll. And then what do they give them? What are they giving them to?
Yes.
And maybe our book will be that tool that folks will get, right? We'll give them here, read this. And get excited because AI is part of it. Cybersecurity. There's so many things that folks can get excited for. So
absolutely,
should maybe even translate it. It's translated into other languages.
Oh, thank you. We will keep that in mind. And Max,
I want to give it to my daughter.
If you don't,
who's 8?
Okay. Oh, how old is she?
8.
8?
Oh, okay. No doubt. Yeah. Is she reading already? She likes reading.
Yeah, she likes reading a lot.
Oh, that's amazing.
Here's my promise to you guys. I'll translate it for free into Dutch for you.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's my promise.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And if you can, after we stop recording, we have a few questions if you don't mind giving us, because we're right in that. You kind of, you're ahead of us in the game. You can give us some pointers. So, Walt, you want to take them to the next question?
Yes. Going back to your book, Max, what are some of the most common misconceptions about global payroll that you were aiming to dispel?
Yeah, one of the misconceptions is that you can't overcome local complexity. If you operate in 20, 30, 40 countries, you can get lost in all of the local compliance details that are out there. And those are out there, right? But if you really want to operate a global payroll function to the highest standards, you need to somehow balance standardization that comes from an organizational demand with local complexity. And I've tried to convey concepts that are practically applicable, where you can ensure local compliance, where you can still manage a payroll for France out of Singapore, or where you can accelerate the payroll calendar by looking at shifts from someone working in the APAC time zone and someone working in the Europe time zone. I have literally 2 to 3 days in my payroll calendar just by cross-training people on the fundamental concepts of payroll, laying down in policies and procedures what the nuances are per country. And then once someone needed to make dinner for their kids, the other one woke up and started working and just continued working where the other one left. So not only did I get them to have a work-life balance, but I also accelerated the payroll calendar where I didn't lose time due to time zones or local regulatory complexities. And just like your theme, I try to make very complex theories very easy to understand, right? And that's what we all try to do. Instead of everyone saying, oh, global payroll is so complex. Yes, it is. But let's try to overcome that together. So that was one of the main themes here. Just like I have a 16-step global payroll process. It starts with some operational management. Then it goes to pre-payroll, from all of your inputs to submitting it, to run payroll, from processing it to approving it. After approval, you need to, hit it in the GL, get payments, statutory filings. I have not come across a payroll where it doesn't follow the same.
You just named the U.S. payroll. I mean, it's all payrolls. Yeah.
Right. Whether it's and then yes, the nuances are different. Sometimes in my country you have one tax return for the whole country. You have in every state, local, federal, have all of these. Right? In Singapore, you don't withhold wage tax or income tax in payroll. You only have some social security, provident fund, and some others. They do it via an end of year assessment. And that's fine. A fringe benefit is taxed differently here, processed through payroll, whereas in the UK, usually it goes through a P11D where you process it in payroll. But those are all finer level details you need to get to. But the second level is universal.
Wow.
And that's what I try to convey with the concepts in the book. That's why I also don't touch on 50 different legislations.
Right.
Because, there's other resources out there for that. But I think if you really want to become a global payroll professional or manager or a leader, you need to overcome that complexity.
Yes.
Perfect segue here. This one's mine, right?
Yes, sir.
What's some of the key leadership qualities a global payroll manager needs today that may not have been emphasized 5 or 10 years ago?
Leadership qualities. I always try to make them a little bit different than others. So I have 2. Traditionally, payroll leaders or managers grew up through the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You become a payroll clerk, administrator, you become a team lead, you become a coordinator, you become a manager. And you usually go through the ranks based on your technical skills and knowledge and your tenure. But what I found the most successful and inspiring payroll teams out there, those are led by people with 2 distinct different qualities, aside from what everyone else does. For one is business acumen.
Good one.
One who, instead of looking down, looks out and goes to the business and says, hey, what do you need from me? How can I contribute to the business success from a payroll perspective, instead of being a commodity process? Go out to the business. The answer might be no 9 times, but the 10th time, yes, I actually need this data to drive my business, or I need to know overtime rates. And the other one is a status quo breaker.
Okay.
The number of times I've heard people say, well, it's either too difficult, we've always done it this way. No, status quo breaker or a day zero mentality.
What day zero mentality?
Day zero mentality. What if you're a new company and it's day zero? What would you do? Forget about everything we've done. It's days, every day is day zero.
I like that. Wow.
Those are kind of 2 skills. And it also leads to other ones that I talk about, like empowerment, right? I don't know. Did you ever have a micromanager?
Oh, yes. Of course. Yeah.
Right? And I never heard someone say, oh, I love to be micromanaged.
No.
Right? And especially when we attract Gen Z or Gen Alphas, kids, they are, by definition, free and freedom, task oriented. Tell me what I need to do, by when, and then please let me do it. Empower them and create a culture where they can make mistakes.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah. So let me ask you then, as far as technology, AI, and automation are concerned, how do you see them reshaping the payroll landscape for professionals in the next 3 to 5 years?
It's $1 million question. I have Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. So how I see it is, I'm not scared at all about technological advancements. Like you, we've seen introduction of computers being worked with. I still remember getting my first laptop.
Yes.
You can work from home. Like, wow, this revolutionizes the way that I do things. Let's build an integration. What integration? Not timesheets. Then I can start typing, right? I type timesheets from a timesheet a year. Then went into an ERP project, digitization of tax codes, of calculations. We had RPA. We still have RPA. Now we have APIs.
What's RPA?
And now we have robotic process automation.
Okay.
So basically the bots, that was very binary. You had to program to do stuff. They still have their merits. Right? API, a more seamless integration than SMTP. And guess what? We're all still here.
So,
do you think with AI, it has the potential to be as revolutionary as the introduction of a real good computer with computing power?
Yeah.
Right. So it does have that potential. But I'm still yet to see the very practical applications that would jeopardize our thinking, because currently it still replicates what we do. It's very
not
biased.
there
it's very clean. Will it get there? I think so, yes. right? If we have this podcast in 3 to 5 years, 80% will say, yes, I use AI.
Oh, for sure.
But it also means that 80% is still there in the payroll profession. So I'm excited about the opportunities where we do not have to find a variance, then have to explain a variance. It takes time. Let AI do it. Let it be your companion.
Yes.
The only thing I am worried about is, and I had this also when I was at Payroll Congress in Orlando, and I look at those 2,500 people in the room, and I'm like, 5% might be at the executive level.
Mm-hmm.
10% might be at the manager leader level. The rest
Payroll pro
is day in, day out payroll professionals, right? And I love them. But don't tell those guys all the time, oh, then you free up time to do strategic stuff. Not everyone wants to do
That's
that.
true.
So, and I don't have the answer yet, but what I want to find out in the next year or so is, how can AI make the lives of those people more fun and more engaging without saying, now you free up 20 hours a week to do strategic stuff.
They don't want to do it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I think there's opportunity there for that as well. I mean, same here. We haven't. What I was going to ask you is, do you even know of any companies in the payroll space that are actively developing AI to do payroll?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. Because I haven't seen that yet. We went to market for a new vendor recently at my current company, and all of them said they have AI. And this is no disrespect to any of the companies that I saw. They're all great products, but the only thing they have AI doing is the same thing ChatGPT kind of go out and search, or maybe a little bit of a smarter Google type of thing within your policies. So I was like, ooh, nifty tool, but you're not really doing payroll yet with AI, and then some of the other stuff that's out there is like just kind of machine learned or automation. People forget automation has been here for a long time. Automation is not AI.
Exactly.
So let's not get it confused, and let's not, change the name. Oh, this is AI. No, it's not. That's automation. That's been here forever. So I'm looking forward to it. And like I say on the show all the time, we need to usher that in. We need to help AI come to payroll so that we can be the pilots, right? I think we'll be payroll pilots in the future. I do think that it will impact some of the bigger teams that are, maybe somebody's doing a time and attendance clerk type of thing where, hopefully it may impact those jobs as if they really nail the AI piece of it. And that's fine. It'll redefine what they can do. But I like what you're saying. How do the frontline folk who like to be in the weeds,
who like Excel,
there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
There's different pieces to the puzzle. And that's one of the things our book will say is like, hey, these are the different jobs that are out there, and what you can, like, this is the way you should go. And that's fine. But how will that, I like, would just keep us updated on that, because I would like, and if anywhere we can help and go from there to develop that would be great. Now, so talking about, wait, is this this is yours, Walt?
No, I just that's the last one.
All right, my bad. I'm getting too excited with Max, man. Okay, so talking about the digital transformation stuff and projects and payroll, have you seen any recently that have succeeded or failed? And if so, what's the lesson that you took from it?
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Payroll transformation projects. You mean?
Specifically around automation, digital, progressive, going, making it improving.
Yeah. So I see two key factors to success or failure.
Okay.
Right. The first one is, let's start with a solution and then think about what problem we're
That's
actually
exactly
trying to
what.
solve.
Yep. That's the way.
People say, oh, no, we need AI. I said, well, why do you need AI? Well, because we want to solve this. Okay, but why does this need to be solved? Well, we don't really know. So, well, how can you jump How can you jump into it? And then they actually start implementing a solution for a problem that either doesn't exist, doesn't need solving, or they don't truly understand. The second thing is we forget about our data. So even with AI, it still needs you to cleanse the data. Where I just co-written the Global Payroll Week survey for Payroll Org together with Robert Gerben, and the top 3 root causes for decreased payroll accuracy were inaccurate data, incomplete data, untimely data. It's still the upfront data that solves this. And we kind of always look at the payroll vendor, the payroll software, and all that. But the root cause would still be that data transfer. I spoke to a very large multinational. When was it? Last Friday. They pay 25,000 employees in about 70 countries.
Oh my gosh.
They've implemented a large human capital system. I shall not name, but you know which ones are out there. He told me, Max, 20% of the data that flows into payroll comes from that one HCM.
Wow.
That means that 80% of his data comes from 7 or more different data sources.
Wow.
And we're not solving that issue at the moment. What we are solving is, let's go with a new provider. Let's implement AI. Let's do better controls. But as you know, most of the payroll process still sits at getting quality data, verifying the data. That's why my point actually, let's solve that problem before we start thinking about anything else. And there's a very long answer to your question. Those who have focused on that part have been very successful.
I love it. And it's amazing what you said about the HCMs, because Walt had shared a stat on one of the episodes that the average company uses up to 6 HCMs. And just for the listeners, because we might think, oh, HCM is just one. No, I only have one HCM. No, you don't. Anywhere employee data lives is an HCM, whether, but loosely defined, because if you have employee data there, you are managing human capital in that system, and it's an HCM. And when I saw it like that, I was like, holy crap. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I got 5 at my company, so it's true. It's the data, right? Data is the new oil. I tell my son that all the time. He's like, what is this guy talking about? My son is 14. He's like, what are you talking about? Data is the new oil. And and you're absolutely right. And it's like Anita Latink said, right? Payroll starts at the HR profile when an employee information change. But some folks don't understand that, especially when you're traditional HR trained. You don't realize, whoa, wait a minute. This is the payroll data. And they look at payroll as a separate thing. It's not a separate thing anymore. I've spent the last few years telling my HR leaders, hey, this is not a payroll system. This is an EM system.
Yes.
Right? This is one system. This is your HR system. So,
and it's very right. At the moment of recording this podcast, I actually issued a poll on LinkedIn, and this is the question: is it absolutely clear to you HR's responsibility ends and where payroll's responsibility starts?
Oh my God, you give me chills. I love it. I love it.
I have 4 voting options. One is 100% clear. The second one is pretty clear. The third one is honestly unclear. The fourth one is it's madness.
Wow.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
18% says 100% clear.
18.
80 or 18?
118.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Right? That means that 82% either thinks it's pretty clear until absolute madness.
Wow.
Yeah. Accurate. That's accurate. That's been our world for the past 5-10 years, is just coming into a place and being like, folks, I've had to tell teams, hey, this isn't mine. Why are you even sending me this? What's the expectation of you sending me this email?
Yeah.
This isn't mine. This is this is a HR thing, right?
Yeah.
We went into one company. I'm sorry to cut you off, Walt. We went into one company that the payroll person was doing the HR stuff, and I was like, no, what do you do? What is she do? What are you doing?
But that's how it is, right? And and I don't know if you both agree with this sentiment or share the same sentiment as me, but like in my experience, it's anything that's related to pay. So if a rate is wrong, payroll, even if we're not the ones who enter that data, You know what I'm saying? If the job title is wrong or something is wrong with something that impacted the pay, come to us and say, hey, why is this not done?
That's right. Absolutely right. Yep.
And this comes back for me to, you asked me about leadership qualities. Is let's recognize we always need to have this conversation with HR. That's why I need to be a status quo breaker.
Yes, I
Say,
love
hey,
that.
like you said, right, let's pause for a second. Let me sit down either virtually or in person with our friends from HR and say, okay, let's map out whose responsibility sits. Because guess what? The employee doesn't care whose responsibility
That's right. Oh,
is.
yeah. And
And what should
right.
they? Yeah. Or the business, they don't care. They want to get their insights, their results, and they want people who are paid fairly and accurately and compliantly. So let's get together and, break the status quo of us versus them, this. Let's create a partnership
Yes.
here. Because whether you report to HR or finance, we are the aorta between those two
That's
functions.
right.
And if you didn't have to study biology to know that without an aorta, the blood, i.e. the data, doesn't flow very nicely through our body.
That's right. That's right. And, you made me think about something Bart said, because Bart added operations into that trio, right? I used to say it's the Holy Trinity, but when I read Bart's book, I was like, damn, he's right. Operations is a big piece of that, because those two things impact the or those three things, right? We work with HR and finance to impact operations ultimately. So they have to be a stakeholder for us. They have to give us the feedback for us, because we're helping impact employee experience. We're helping impact the business and how it runs. I recently implemented mobile punching right? And one of the managers said, my folks are getting to the sales floor quicker.
And that's making an impact to the bottom line.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So, Max, let me ask you, what's one myth about global payroll that you wish would disappear forever?
That you only need one vendor to process and manage your entire global scope.
Hey, I'm Katie Van Horn.
And I'm Jackie Clayton.
We're your hosts of the Inclusive AF podcast, where we take on DEI, leadership, and HR without all the corporate fluff.
That's right. We've got decades of experience, a lot of opinions, and zero tolerance for performative anything.
Every week, we dig into what it really takes to build inclusive workplaces with honesty, strategy, and a few side eyes.
We'll talk about the tough stuff, power dynamics, privilege, what's broken in the system, and how we can all do better.
And don't worry, it's not all heavy. We bring receipts, laughs, and real talk from people actually doing the work.
Think of it as your weekly dose of truth, tips, and a little tea to help you lead with intention and show up for your people.
So if you're ready to push past the buzzwords and get into the actual work of inclusion,
you're in the right place. So subscribe to the Inclusive AF podcast.
New episodes drop every week.
Catch us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll be here breaking it down one inclusive convo at a time.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Brian.
So what advice would you give to a new global payroll leader coming into the space for the first time?
Run away.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So we'll say, congratulations, you've entered the world of global payroll. What I always say, and I have these conversations very frequently, is really take your time to start understanding your landscape. Don't feel pressure to consolidate your providers or the need to make an immediate change. Really understand your effect, because I've made those mistakes by jumping in too quickly, and I've learned that pretty fast in my career too. Let's sit down. Let's look at your landscape, which countries, which entities, what are the local nuances that you need to fit. Once you really articulate your landscape, that's when you can start to understand, okay, this might need a change. This might need a change. You can be very targeted instead of a complete overhaul. And say, well, now I need to either go to one vendor or I need to go to a regional provider. No, sometimes for a business, it works best to have local providers and consolidate with a platform. And sometimes, yes, it does work to achieve, a certain level of consolidation, but never really assume that you know which change you need to make before you truly understand your as-is landscape. That's what I do. The second piece of advice is buy my book.
That's right.
but also buy Anita's book, buy Bart's book.
Yes.
Get as much information there. And what I've also learned is global payroll is not about what you know, but it's about who you know.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know everything, nor will I in the next 20
right.
years. So I also have my network of supporters. So make sure you carve out time of your busy day to network. And as you know, payroll people are very friendly. I am yet to find a payroll person who says no to me and say, hey, I need your
That's
help.
right. That's right.
Can you help me? So don't be afraid that you don't know everything. That's maybe the third piece of advice. Be uncomfortably uncomfortable.
That's right. I love it.
Hey, Brian, you know everything about US payroll. Well, everything, you know a lot about US payroll. If you would now suddenly need to manage the payroll in the Netherlands.
Oh, gosh.
Right? That's the immediate response. But I say, no, oh gosh. I'm pretty sure based on your US knowledge, you know 60 to 70% of Dutch payroll already.
Nice.
Because you know payroll.
Yep.
Now, break it down into those 60 normal steps. Okay, what happens? What data do you need? Starters, leavers, what do you need? What are the tax calculations? What are the brackets? What's social security? You know the concepts. So don't be afraid to jump into a new country. I have managed payrolls that I knew little about. Hey, but I had a team. I got my training. I knew enough to ask the right questions.
That's right.
If whether it's a payroll in Uganda, South Africa, or Mexico, you will ask the right questions because you know payroll.
Yes.
So don't overwhelmed or afraid. I once was hired at a job, actually, it was at Crocs, you know, the lovely shoes. And they had a scope of a couple of countries, 14, 15 countries. They asked me, do you know everything about this country? I said, no. They were like flabbergasted. They're like, no? Why have you applied? I said, well, imagine this. What if you would enter into 5 more countries next year? Would you then fire me and hire someone who knows, or would you allow me to upskill myself?
I love that.
Then they said, you're hired.
Yep.
So don't be afraid, but not know, but ask the right questions. And it's not about what you know, about who you know.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Matt. So last question, right? What's next for you? Any upcoming projects? Any ideas?
It's a great question. I've actually transitioned since the 1st of July fully to my own company, Passion.
Congratulations. That was going to be one of my questions. I didn't know if you wanted to answer it online. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I've built 2 companies. One is the Passion for Payroll, where I deliver global payroll consultancy, education through my book or through partners, like what we're doing for the University of Warsaw, where we have a postgraduate international HR and payroll. First postgrad in the world that has payroll in it. Yeah. And I have another one. Mind you, I have the Payroll Comedian.
What's that?
Yes. That's a fun way of delivering keynotes to the world of payroll. And I do that under the brand of the Payroll Comedian, a bit of storytelling, less about the future of work. You need to hire Anita for that. She's awesome.
Of course.
I try to bring another voice, a bit of relatable voice, where I deliver keynotes that people leave and say, oh, I'm not alone in this profession. I go through the same stuff as others, and I combine that with key insights. So that's what I'm going to do next. My main motivation is to support the profession. And I do that by my own 2 brands, Passion for Payroll and the Payroll Comedian.
Awesome. Oh, man, I'm excited.
Yep, so excited. And look, anything we can do to help, please let us know.
Yes.
We'd love to, if you ever start sharing any bits of the Payroll Comedian, please put it out there, because we'd love to share some stuff on the show and clips or anything like that. People would love that. Like Walt just developed, when you commented on Payla the Panda, Walt developed it, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, this is nice, great. But it was like, when he put that out, it was one of the most, probably the most engaged post that we've ever had. And I was like, what? Who would have thought, right? But we want to have fun. We want to release from the tax.
Right,
oh my God,
stress.
the stress of it all. And that's a great way to do it. And so we're going to keep doing it. Oh, and I like your suggestion. Make the did you read his suggest, Walt? Make Taylor's t-shirt pink.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Look at thing. So I've also developed a cartoon version of myself.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Love it.
For the Payroll Comedian.
Yes.
And he's going to be called Peter, P-A-I-T-E-R.
Love it.
So it has pay, but also AI. Just make it fun and relatable and a bit relaxed.
Yes,
We need
good.
that.
Yes.
Need that.
Release the pressure.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I have a question for you. The survey you mentioned that you co-authored, is that been published already, or?
Yes, it's available on www.payroll or Global Payroll. It's a free resource that's being offered by Payroll.
Is there a name of it? Can you?
It's Getting the World Page Survey for 2025.
Getting the World Page.
There's a lot of key steps in
Okay,
it. Yep.
perfect. Because I love the surveys. I love the data. All right. And then also, look, we got winners at it. You know, it's funny that we got so much engagement on Payla. I think it's a LinkedIn that killed our algorithm. Because right, I was like, wait, there'd be way more folks. We wanted 5, but we only got 3. Unless you saw something different, I only got 3 winners. But hey, it is what it is. Lucky winners. It's gonna be Ashley Rodriguez, Anna Vilhena, and Rona Rubal. Congratulations! You will be getting a copy of.
Congratulations!
Yep, I'll reach out to the. Oh, look at that! I love that.
I love it.
So I'll reach out to them for the addresses and we'll get it done. Yeah. Great. Congratulations to winners, man.
Excellent.
Max, man, we can't thank you enough for coming on the show and being a part of it all. Thank you for what you do for the profession. Where can I get my Passion for Payroll t-shirt? You got merch on the site yet or what's going on?
Not yet, but I might develop that as well when I get my cartoon figure out. But, you know, there's a lot to do, but that will be out there. You guys have also some merch, right? That people can wear.
We have merch, but it's, yeah.
In the making.
No, we have. It's out there. Well, I don't know if we'll keep it out there. We got to refresh it. We like, you know, but it's easy to do, right? Because you don't have to buy the inventory in advance. You could kind of make it an on-demand thing. So I would love to get the t-shirt. And yeah, man, where do people find you? Where do they go now to find everything you're doing?
So normally my go-to is LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. I'm developing my website at the moment, www.passionforpayroll.com and thepayrollcomedian.com. I'm going to Sydney for the first comedian talk in October. I think I'm going to Canada in June.
Yes.
I might go to Stockholm somewhere else. So I'll be all over the world. But just reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Amazing.
Also, if you want a personally signed copy of the book, drop me a DM, then I will get it shipped out to you. You'll be supporting people,
that's right,
kids and families in the Netherlands who need it, who need the financial support to be able to, you know, take a part in the community and get their kids out to sports and meet other kids. So don't just do it for me. I'll be posting about it probably this or next week of what it will be when I sign the contract of the sponsoring. So please support us to support those kids who need it.
Love it, man. That's awesome. Oh gosh, the engagements that you do, is it companies that are hiring you to do the speaking? Or okay, all right.
Yeah, so you can just reach out to me either as part of an event. Some actually do it where they have their global payroll teams come together and they want external voice of reason that's relatable, so that they hire me. They can, of course, a free copy of the book. But just bring some of that passion and action to it.
I love it.
And you need to be re-energized.
I love it. Yeah, but I would love to be able to do something in the U.S. live event where folks can kind of come to it.
Sure.
So we got to figure it out. I love it. Well, Max, we'll give you some time back today, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's so exciting to have, you know, and of course, at some point we're going to have you back on again. And I'm glad to see. Congrats on everything you're doing. And before we go, Walt is going to finish us off with a quote of the day.
Yes. All right. Today, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Dr. Zeus.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Exactly. So
be
you. That's it. Be authentic. Be you. Yes, folks. So till the next time, folks, we love you. Go, please subscribe, engage, share the show. Go on to LinkedIn, follow Max, follow us, and keep contributing to the payroll community as we have that passion for payroll. So till the next time, folks, we love you. Peace.